Public health campaigns about obesity have become increasingly common, yet their impact remains disappointingly weak. Despite growing awareness of the link between obesity and deadly conditions like cancer, diabetes, and heart disease, rates of obesity continue to climb, especially in the very populations most at risk. The uncomfortable truth is that many of these campaigns are failing, not because people don't care, but because the messaging is flawed, disconnected, and too often rooted in assumptions rather than realities. One of the most glaring problems is that public health efforts rarely reach the communities that need them most. High-risk groups, such as low-income families, racial minorities, rural residents, and the elderly, often live in environments where healthy food is unaffordable or unavailable, safe spaces for physical activity are non-existent, and medical care is sporadic or mistrusted. Simply telling people to eat better or move more doesn't work when the structural conditions of their daily lives make those things nearly impossible. Too many obesity campaigns are built on generalized, one-size-fits-all messages. They often use clinical language or bland slogans that fail to resonate with culturally diverse communities. A poster in a doctor's office or a national ad on TV may mean little to someone who speaks another language at home, or whose cultural norms around food, body size, and health differ from those assumed by the campaign. Worse, these messages often come across as condescending, shaming, or detached from lived experience, alienating the very people they're supposed to help. There's also a serious lack of community engagement. Few campaigns are co-designed with the people they're targeting. Health authorities frequently develop obesity programs from the top down, without consulting local leaders, schools, churches, or advocacy groups that could bridge the gap between science and real-world behavior. This leads to campaigns that feel imposed rather than empowering, rules handed down by institutions that have historically failed or even harmed the communities they now hope to influence. And while scientific messaging is important, most campaigns completely neglect the emotional, psychological, and social aspects of obesity. They reduce the issue to calories and willpower, ignoring the stress, trauma, food insecurity, and mental health struggles that often underlie weight gain. By failing to address these deeper drivers, public health messages remain surface level, offering advice that feels irrelevant, out of reach, or even guilt-inducing. Meanwhile, the environments that promote obesity, fast food marketing, processed food subsidies, sedentary lifestyles designed by car-centric infrastructure, remain unchanged. Campaigns may tell people to shop at farmers markets while their neighborhoods are full of liquor stores and dollar menus. They might encourage exercise, while public parks are unsafe or non-existent. These contradictions breed cynicism and inaction, making it easier for people to dismiss the messaging as unrealistic or hypocritical. There's also the issue of sustainability. When public health programs are launched, they're often underfunded, short-lived, or fragmented across agencies. A few months of ads or a seasonal initiative can't undo decades of unhealthy living conditions. Long-term, community-rooted investment is needed, yet most campaigns are designed for short-term visibility rather than sustained impact. The result of all this is predictably tragic. Obesity-related disease continues to rise, especially among marginalized groups. And while policymakers and health officials may claim success in raising awareness, awareness without change is hollow. Worse, it becomes a form of performative health care, an illusion of action that masks systemic inaction. To reverse the tide of obesity, public health campaigns must radically evolve. They must become local, culturally relevant, emotionally intelligent, and deeply tied to community life. They must confront economic and political structures, not just individual choices. And they must stop pretending that information alone is enough. Without this shift, public health messaging will remain what it too often is, a whisper against a hurricane of environmental, economic, and social forces that continue to push millions into preventable disease.